coming up on Mornings on the Hill. Student visas are being revoked on college campuses nationwide, leading to arrests in a place of learning.
The nation's top Ivy League school facing major funding cutbacks for not complying with the new White House rules. We'll have the latest.
And new images from the scene of a plane crash in eastern New York that claimed the lives of 6 people. Those stories and much more on this edition on Mornings on the Hill. Good morning, I'm Sheridan Truly. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Jill Schumacher. Here's a look at today's top story.
A lot is happening in the collegiate world as students in New York State face possible visa revocation.
Our reporter Vinaya Johnson is live in studio with more.
Thanks, guys. We're seeing a lot of action on college campuses where international students are having their visas revoked. The 5 schools that would have been listed behind me are the amount of students that are affected, which could potentially lead to deportation. The University of Rochester and Rochester Institute of Technology are among the colleges across the nation where international students had their visas revoked.
I'm constantly wondering, like, hey, am I going to go to class and not see my friend? Are they just going to disappear?
The Trump administration has now canceled the visas of over 900 students, faculty, and researchers across over 80 colleges and universities. Many of the cancellations have been tied to the Trump administration's crackdown on pro-Palestinian protests, but some cancellations appear to be connected to those with some sort of criminal record. Secretary of State Senator Marco Rubio didn't hold back when talking about international students who, in his view, crossed the line.
If you come to this country as a student, we expect you to go to class and study and get a degree. If you come here to vandalize a library, take over a campus, and do all kinds of crazy things, we're going to get rid of these people, and we're going to continue to do it. So when we identify lunatics like these, we take away their student visa.
In response to the action against international students, they are taking legal action, filing lawsuits against the government and seeking support from their universities and community organizations. These revocations have left many international students with uncertainty, but local groups and universities are creating spaces to support the success, resilience, and voices of international students. That's all I have for now. I'll keep you updated as more unfolds. Jill, Sheridan, back to you.
Thank you, Vinaya. Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens is running for Syracuse mayor with a bold new vision unveiled called the Thriving Neighborhoods Plan. It focuses on affordable housing, revitalizing vacant properties, and improving infrastructure. Owens aims to build 1,000 new homes, crack down on substandard housing, and replace lead pipes. Owens is one of 5 candidates in the race.
Housing prices is a key factor in the race for Syracuse mayor. Over the past 2 years, home sales prices have gone up almost 25%. Arshawn Tesler joins us across the room with impact on new buyers.
Thanks, Jill. Homes in Onondaga County are now selling for an average of $70,000 more than 2 years ago. We talked to a realtor and a buyer to see how it is impacting the search for a home. Despite having the same quality, homes in Onondaga County are now selling an average of $70,000 more than 2 years ago. Data from the New York State Association of Realtors shows an average house now costs $362,000.
It's tough right now. It's a very tough market for people who want to buy a home.
Steven Skinner owns his own realty company. Skinner says that he's seen the housing supply dwindle while demand is climbing with the growing presence of tech companies in central New York.
It puts a strain on the local economy when these things happen, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, except for the fact that a new buyer, a new homeowner, they're definitely struggling right now.
Jack Past is currently packing up his home in Phoenix to move into this Syracuse house, which he finally got after searching for months.
And we would go into a home thinking, oh, we like this one, we want to put a bid on it. And there would be 10 other bidders. And most of them were for cash, and we're not rich enough to bid for cash.
To secure his new house, Past had to offer $20,000 over the asking price and forgo an inspection.
None of the homes that were being offered were they wouldn't allow inspections. Just like buy it as is, or we'll find somebody else, because it's such a seller's market.
And after moving in, PASS noticed several problems with the house that would have been found with an inspection. And it's unclear whether the market will balance out anytime soon. Guys.
Thanks, Sean. Now for the latest on a deadly plane crash south of Albany over the weekend. Our Kira Saranik is with us in studio. Kira, what do we know right now?
Thanks, Sheridan. The National Transportation Safety Board completed its second full day of investigation yesterday, releasing brand new footage from Saturday's crash site in Copake. This footage behind me showing us the true extent of this wreckage in the deadly crash that killed 6 people. This video shows just how badly the small plane was damaged when it crashed into a muddy field shortly after noon on Saturday near the Massachusetts border. Crews have begun looking through parts of the plane for investigation. NTSB member Todd Inman commented on the crash, saying, based on initial findings, the final moments before impact were likely grim.
The video, as we've seen just in the last hour, we were able to retain a higher quality version, appears to show that the aircraft was intact and crashed at a high rate of descent into the ground.
The plane departed from White Plains and was on its way to Columbia County Airport. Investigators are currently analyzing air traffic control data and weather reports from the time of the crash. We know that there were 5 passengers and 1 pilot on board, including the son of John Santaro.
Their suffering is over. Ours has really just begun.
John's son was with his girlfriend Corinna Garoff and her family on the way to the Catskills for a birthday celebration and the Passover holiday. James and Corinna were MIT student athletes. The NTSB is also conducting a review of the aircraft's maintenance history. The wreckage is expected to be cleared by the end of today and transported to Massachusetts for further inspection. Live in studio, I'm Kira Saranik for Mornings on the Hill.
Heads up for drivers, lane closures on I-81 southbound began yesterday and will last for 2 weeks from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on weekdays. Only one lane will be open between the 1690 East Ramp and Adams Street. The state DOT says its ongoing bridge work can expect delays and planned extra travel time through April 25th.
For many drivers in central New York, Interstate 81 is a key route for their daily commute in the Syracuse area. Our Maya Alicia is live downtown in Syracuse near I-81, and she tells us how delays and detours are becoming the new normal. Maya?
That's right, Sheridan. As you can see behind me, cars are whipping by as they head I-81 northbound. Now, the further they go, the more construction they will run into. The I-81 viaduct project will be completed in 8 phases, with the last phase projected to be done at the end of 2028.
Interstate 81 is key for drivers getting around the Syracuse area, but with the I-81 viaduct project, reconstruction comes with inconvenience. According to the New York State Department of Transportation, some parts of the interstate are decaying, don't meet design requirements, and have undergone multiple accidents since being built in the early 1950s. Since the $2.25 billion project began for the 12-mile passage, drivers are steered in many ways.
I try to plan like 15 or 10 minutes ahead of time.
It was difficult to get on to the right exit.
Yeah, the exit is terrible.
Lane splitting is really bad.
If it's bad, I'll just get off and exit and make my own way.
It doesn't have to be that way. Here are the ways to get around as construction continues. Be prepared for lane closures and move to an open lane immediately. While on the road, keep a good distance from other drivers. Watch for signs because sometimes your GPS isn't up to date. The Waze app also allows users to customize routes. Some options include avoiding toll roads, difficult intersections, and unpaved roads. To find out more about construction, the I-81 app provides real-time updates.
The I-81 viaduct project will bring great improvements to the Syracuse community, but there will be temporary pains. Live at I-81, Maya Alicia, Mornings on the Hill.
Thank you for that update on the project, Maya. It's expected to have major improvements for the city of Syracuse, but as of now, we're going to take a little bit of a look at our weather. Here's Autumn Ryan with your forecast.
Thanks, ladies. Good morning. It's partly cloudy with the chance of sunshine today. Great day to head outside for a picnic or a walk or things like that. You're not going to need your coat. It feels like 51 today. We don't really have our things up here, but I do know the weather. So it is 51 degrees for today. So it'll be a great time to get outside. You don't need a coat, so head on out and enjoy that sun. Back to you.
Thanks, Autumn. I definitely tried to keep up with the weather. Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, our Charlie Goldberg looks at why the Trump administration frees more than $2.2 billion of funding for Harvard University.
Yesterday, the Trump administration announced a freeze on grants at Harvard University.
Our Charlie Goldberg is live in studio with more. Charlie?
Yeah, billions of funds have been taken from Harvard University. This comes in part of the aftermath following the school's resistance to comply to a list of demands made from the White House and President Donald Trump. In return, the administration announced that it would freeze $2.2 billion in multi-year grants, as well as a $60 million multi-year contract. The list of demands not met by the university include reducing the power of students and faculty members in various university affairs, a further implementation of merit-based administration, the elimination of DEI, and the reporting of foreign students who are, quote, hostile to American values and institutions. Harvard President Alan Garber responded to the government in a note written to his university. In it, he said, "No government, regardless of which party is in power, should dictate what private universities can teach, whom they can admit and hire, and which areas of study and inquiry they can pursue." Harvard now joins an overall growing list of 8 private universities that the current administration has targeted for claims of failures to combat anti-Semitism and civil rights violations on campus. Guys?
Thank you. Time to check for your weather today. Autumn Ryan is in studio with a look at your full weather forecast.
We're back. Now you see we got all our stats up, y'all, so y'all can really get the full weather. So it feels like 51 today, which is a little bit warmer than what we've seen, but there is going to be a little bit of a low coming in soon, a low about 36, unfortunately. So we can start off our day with light jackets, go out for a little stroll, a walk, maybe walk your dog. But when it comes into the night, we're really wanting to go ahead and throw our coats on and things like that. So looking into the morning, as I said, temperatures are going up a little bit to 55, but in that night, we're going to get down to 39. So if you're going to be out throughout the day, I would recommend just grabbing a coat to bring along with you throughout the rest of the day. But it feels pretty good, and there may be a slight chance of rain, so keep your umbrella with you as well. Moving on to the 5-day forecast. For Wednesday, we're looking at pretty chilly temperatures and the possibility of snow. We have Thursday coming up, 51, a little bit warmer, but we really want to look forward to this great weekend. On Friday and Saturday, we have some really warm temperatures, so if you're looking for something to do, better get outside on Friday and Saturday. Sunday, might want to stay in. It's getting back to a little bit of chilly, but Syracuse weather, unpredictable for that springtime, but that's all that we have for today, so back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Autumn. If you're a student and you want to buy a plane ticket, you're going to need to secure a real ID. Jack McGuire joins us live with more.
Yeah, the government is mandating that everybody have a government-issued real ID by May 7th in order to fly commercially. The order was issued by Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem last week. This directive is actually nothing new, as the Real ID Act was passed by Congress in 2005 to establish minimum security standards for state-issued driver's licenses in response to 9/11 terrorist attacks. It was constructed by James Sensenbrenner, who was actually also one of the architects behind the Patriot Act. The new rule also has some pushback in the GOP. One in particular is Representative Thomas Massie from Kentucky, who said that enforcing it is government overreach. In a tweet this past week that's been widely shared over social media, Massie called the act a tool for control of Americans. Keep in mind, Massie is a former Ron Paul descendant, so he has libertarian leanings when it comes to the scope of the federal government. Jill Sheridan, back to you.
Thanks so much, Jack. After the break, our Maria Wainscott dives into Syracuse football's spring game and why QB1 was on the sideline. That and more on Orange Sports.
Welcome. On Mornings on the Hill, I'm Maria Wainscott. A lot of sports making news headlines here around the Hill and in the nation. But we begin here in Syracuse, where SU hockey hosted a truly special tournament at the Kennedy Ice Pavilion. Our Geraldine Paglia has more.
Thanks, Maria. This unique tournament brought the SU men's hockey team to the ice in a different kind of hockey game for their second annual Inclusive Cup to benefit the CNY Flyers sled hockey team.
Let's have fun today.
In honor of Disability Pride Month, teams took the ice for a full day of sled hockey to raise money and awareness. Stephanie Krantz, CNY Adaptive Sports participant, is grateful for the second chance to play the sport she loves.
When I was 16 years old, I obtained a traumatic brain injury after being struck by a jet ski, and it broke my heart that I couldn't live my normal life, which was pretty much at the ice rink.
The Inclusive Cup was created just last year, aiming to create a fun, fast-paced, and empowering environment.
It's not just a stand-up sport, and really hockey is available for all. And
SU men's hockey has joined the mission, and along with his teammates, Jared Toff is helping grow awareness and support.
They teach us how to appreciate hockey from a different perspective.
At the end of the tournament, one team was able to lift the Inclusive Cup, but everyone was able to laugh and celebrate. Even Otto got in on the action. All proceeds from the tournament go directly to supporting the Flyers sled hockey program, helping provide equipment, training, and opportunities for athletes across Central New York. Maria, back to you.
Thanks, Geraldine. What an incredible event. Staying here in Syracuse, football was back in the Dome this weekend for the Americuse Spring Game, and it gave fans their first look at what's to come after Syracuse's 10-win season and their top 20 finish in 2024. With LSU transfer Ricky Collins out due to a minor hand injury, all eyes turned to the quarterback battle behind him. Redshirt freshman Jakari Williams led the Orange offense, showing skill with a deep ball to Justice Ross Simmons and a sideline strike to Trevor Pena. On the other side, grad transfer Michael Johnson Jr. led the Blue Squad to a late 16-14 win. But the biggest story was 17-year-old freshman Demetris Samuel Jr. The two-way standout has split his spring between offense and defense and made plays all day Saturday, including 2 tackles and a pass breakup. Head coach Fran Brown says his potential is off the charts.
You seen him today, right? He looked like he belonged. Yeah, he legit. He's a good football player. He wants to learn. He can take hard coaching. Like, I'm coaching him extremely hard. I'm tough on him, and we make him go both ways. So it's like, hey, you built to do this, so go. To whom much is given, much is required. Get your butt in there and go.
Between a ribbon cutting at the new Football Performance Center and a block party on the quad, it was a full day celebrating the future of Orange football. Spring practice wraps up next week as the countdown to fall continues. And we do have some breaking news regarding Syracuse men's football here on campus. According to 24/7 Sports and CBS Sports, Trevor Pena just announced he's entered the transfer portal. Big news for us. We'll keep you posted with the latest. Now, on the national stage, the NBA playoffs tip off tonight with the play-in tournament kicking off 2 months of postseason action. At 7:30, the Orlando Magic host the Atlanta Hawks, and at 10, the highly anticipated 2022 rematch of the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. The winner of each game is awarded the 7th seed and a 7-game series against the 2 seed. From the courts to the ice, our Caleb Spinner has our NHL playoff race update as the regular season comes to a close.
Thanks, Maria. For the first time in over a decade, none of the 3 New York-based NHL teams has made the Stanley Cup playoff. The Buffalo Sabres, New York Rangers, and New York Islanders will all be watching this postseason from their home couches, something that hasn't happened since the 2013-14 season. Remember then? Transformers: Age of Extinction was the boss of the box office. Pharrell's Happy topped the charts, and the Ebola outbreak in Africa was the top headline. The Sabres and Rangers and Isles are all out, so who made it? Here's a look at the bracket as it stands now. Some of the biggest matchups to look at here, first starting in the Western Conference, the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. Mika Rantanen going up against his former team in the Avalanche. We'll see what that looks like getting started at the end of the week. The Panthers and the Lightning in the eastern side of things. Does the new addition of Brad Marchand from the Bruins to the Panthers give Florida what it takes to get the Stanley Cup? And the reason this says potential tournament bracket instead of the official tournament bracket is because we've still got a game to play. This final scene in the bottom right corner, as you'll see, is still to be determined between the Blue Jackets and the Montreal Canadiens. Both of them are still deadlocked for that final spot in the wild card race. The game yesterday when the Blackhawks beat the Canadiens in a shootout is really what kept the hopes alive for the Blue Jackets. They play in Philly tonight. But with 89 points for the Canadiens and 85 points for the Blue Jackets, this is still anybody's race. And either way, regardless of whether the Canadiens or the Blue Jackets get that final spot, New York fans will have to find a new team to support in this year's Stanley Cup playoff. Back to you, Maria.
Thanks. Now on Orange Sports, after the break, our Natalie Simonowitz has the latest in entertainment as the all-female Blue Origin crew launched in space and landed back safely on Earth Monday morning.
Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. I'm Natalie Simonowitz here with your entertainment. Saturday Night Live did a White Lotus sketch that included an impersonation of Amy Lou Wood, where Sarah Sherman wore fake teeth. Wood took to Instagram calling the sketch mean and unfunny. The White Lotus star did later state she received apologies from SNL, but did not specify who reached out to her. Blue Origin has launched Jeff Bezos' fiance, Lauren Sanchez, into space with an all-female celebrity crew that includes Katy Perry and Gayle King. The rocket blasted off Monday from West Texas. Sanchez, a helicopter pilot and former TV journalist, invited the others along for the 10-minute, fully automated ride. The crew also included a film producer, a former NASA engineer who started her own companies to promote science education, and a scientist who now advocates for sexual violence survivors. The crew returned safely back to home soil. The full cast of The Breakfast Club reunited for the first time in 40 years at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. Emilio Estevez, who plays Andrew Clark, has not been in past reunions, but said it was fitting to attend this year's, as it was the Windy City, which is where the movie was filmed. And Green Day's Coachella debut was a politically charged spectacle. Lyrics to classics like American Idiot and Jesus of Suburbia were changed to criticize President Donald Trump and express solidarity with Palestine. One of their more notable changes was the lyrics, "I'm not a part of a redneck agenda," to "I'm not part of a MAGA agenda." And that'll do it this week for entertainment. Sheridan, Jill, back to you guys.
Thank you, Natalie. Jill, what are your thoughts on Coachella? Were you seeing the outfits?
I mean, Lady Gaga knocked out of the park. Her multiple sets, her open, everything was stellar. Charlie XCX brought out multiple people. Billie Eilish, I can't complain, so.
My favorite was Megan, but that'll do it for us this Tuesday. Here on Mornings on the Hill, I'm Sheridan Truly. Follow us on social media.
And I'm Jill Schumacher. We'll see you next Wednesday and live at 10 a.m. right here on OTN.